Welcome to the Lombok tutorial. I am Răzvan and in this video I am going to show you how to use a really nice dependency called Lombok. If you are new here, make sure you click that subscribe button. Let's jump into it. Lombok is an open source dependency available for both Maven and Gradle that will reduce the boilerplate code with just a few annotations, making the code cleaner and easier to read. Let's begin with its documentation page. These are some of the annotations that we are going to use in our example. By clicking each of these, you will get some more particular details. The page shows the installation process for each IDE as well. Let's get started. I've created a very simple Maven project in which I added the main method in a main class, and I created another person class that has three fields: a name, age, and an email. There are two steps before we can get started with Lombok in our project. Firstly, we need to import its dependency. Go to the mavenrepository.com, search for Lombok, select the Project Lombok, copy the dependency, and here in the pom.xml create a new tag called dependencies and just paste the Lombok dependency in here. Go to the Maven, re-import the dependencies, and make sure that under these dependencies Lombok is displayed. The second and the final step is to install the Lombok plugin into the Intellij IDE. In order to do that, you have to go to File, Settings, Plugins, Marketplace, type Lombok, and it's already installed on my machine, but in your case it will show an install button, so you'll have to click it, then apply, OK, and restart the Intellij. After restarting the IDE, you will notice that in the settings menu a new option will be available. I'm referring to this Lombok plugin. It allows you to disable some of its features in order to improve the performance. Also, in the bottom right corner, a pop-up will show up at some point asking if you want to enable annotation processing for Lombok. I advise you to accept that as well. Now the setup is complete. Before we start using the Lombok features, let's create some boilerplate code in the person class. For example, let's generate getters, setters, constructors, and so on. So far we have 65 lines of code. Cool! Let's start using Lombok. Instead of overriding this toString method, we can replace it with a very simple annotation. The same process applies for all these getters. The same goes for the setters. We can replace all of them with just the setter annotation. We have an annotation for replacing these two methods as well, equals and hashcode. We have an annotation for the constructors, for the constructor with all the arguments, and another annotation for the constructor with no arguments. I want to show you a trick into the documentation page. If we have a closer look into the data annotation, we will see that it's a shortcut for toString, equals, and hashcode, getter, setter, and required args constructor. So we can just simply replace all these annotations with data. So, how does it look so far? Instead of 65 lines of code, we only have 10. Let's add one more annotation called builder. It provides us a way to create objects of this class in a really nice manner. Cool, let's test all these features into the main method. Let's get started by creating a new person instance. Let's create a second object using the builder annotation. So you have to pass the class name .builder, and here comes the flexibility provided by the builder. You can choose to pass values for all the fields, or you can decide to pass values for some of them, not all. So in our example, let's just set the age for this P2 object. Keep in mind that you will have to pass .build. Let's create a third object called P3 person.builder.name .age .email .build. We have the objects. Now let's test the getters, setters, and so on. Let's display the age of the second object. Get age. For the third object, we want to apply a setter in order to change the name. Instead of John, we want to call him Mario. Let's show its name, and then we want to show the details regarding the first object using the toString method. Run. Mario and the first object. Everything looks as expected. I hope that you are happy too about all these things that we can use out of the box thanks to the Lombok annotations.